Hey y'all, welcome to the very first episode of Mic'd Up with Mama Shaun, where I am your host, ReShaun Webb, podcast host, speaker, early childhood educator, coach, Disney planner, and your go-to girl for all things leadership, healing, and dreaming big. This isn't your average podcast, by no means. It's where your purpose meets the playroom and legacy meets the mic. And today we're kicking things off with the first episode, which is also a crossover episode. I also have another podcast, Early Childhood Coach with the Childcare Experience. I wanted to figure out how to bring the two together, at least to reintroduce myself to some and introduce myself to everybody else. We are just coming back from an amazing conference with two amazing educators in whom I have mad love and respect for. And I appreciate what they did. I appreciate what they're trying to do. And anytime they need me, I will be there 100%. 100%. Because they're doing something great and amazing. It's authentic, it's not tainted, and it's real. And I love that for them. So, again, some of you may know me from my other podcasts, Early Childhood Coach with a Childcare Experience, where we talk all things childcare. And lately, life has been lifing, but in a good way. And so I wear a lot of hats, and I'm trying to juggle all my hats. And sometimes things get lost, the sauce gets saucy, things get sticky and spicy. But I wanted to make a comeback and introduce something different. So, my Early Childhood Coach with a Childcare podcast is where we dig into classroom management, special needs, leadership, all the things. But then there's this podcast right here, right, where we discuss life and we discuss things that happen beyond what we professionally do, right? When the classroom is empty, the children have gone home, staff have gone home, your employees have gone home, or you are home, and it's like, okay, now what do I do, right? I spent all my day doing all the things, and now I'm home, or I'm here with my family, or I'm here by myself. Now what, right? And now I have to face who I am when I'm not on. And by on, when I'm not on the clock, or when I'm not having to be needed, right? So, in this space, we're going to talk leadership, we're going to talk life, we're going to talk about what happens after you clock out. And I'm going to share a lot of what I've been through on this podcast, not as a way to put the ones that have done the damage, put them down, because it's not about them. It's about me and you and what happens after. So, this is my heart space where we're going to talk about leadership in life. This podcast is for the mamas and the daddies, the educators, the center owners, the coaches, the women building community that they can't explain, right? And the men, right? This is for you when, life is lifing and you're like, okay, what do I do now? And that was a huge thing for me. And so, but first, let me tell you how Mama Shaun got started. And as I say this, you could probably hear me smiling because it started from a little boy who came to me at 18 months old, him and his sister, and we instantaneously fell for one another, right? Instantaneously. He was my other hand, he was my heart. He is not was is my heart, and he is just he's my other son. He's my son. And thankfully his mother understood. She never, you know, made it look weird or bad or anything. And she loved that for her son. And of course, we don't say the names of the children, but this little boy became my heart. And if you're a listener, then you know who I'm talking about. I have so many pictures and videos. This little boy stole my heart. This time I was watching. I saw it. I saw him steal my heart, and I just gladly let him do it. And he always knew when something was wrong. He would always come and give me the biggest hug, and I would steal him from his classroom, and we'd hang out in my office, and we would talk and chat and all these things. And he was just the cutest little kid. And now he's almost I don't know, a little grown little man. He's a little man at this point in school. But out of the clear blue sky one day, he was sitting in his little chair. He was being silly, and he was like, "Mom, ma, 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 ma." And he didn't stop calling me ma until I said yes. And then he, help, help, help. And he identified within himself, A, obviously he needed help. B, he identified that there was something about me that resonated with him, where he felt comfortable to call me ma. He had never used that word before. He had never called me any of those things. And so then when I responded, he asked for what he needed. And so I helped him up. And from that point on, it was ma, ma, ma. And then it grew into Mama Shaun. And then it caught on with all the other kids at the center at the time. This was probably back in 2019. And he, cutest little kid. I mean, cute little kid. And I love all my kiddos over the years that I've had. Um, but this one touched my heart. And he touched my heart in a way that I didn't see coming, but obviously I knew I needed, right? Didn't, have any children at my age at the time. And, it was loving life and loving, this little boy and getting over a terrible heartbreak at the same time. And he was just so loving. And it got to the point to where if someone came at me, if one of the kids came at me wrong, he would step in and give him a little reprimand, in his own little voice. And I was like, oh my gosh. And so he just became my kid. He just became my kid. I didn't ask permission. He just became my kid. And his mom understood, and she's like, hey, I love that for him. Do you, and then it became, hey, anytime you want to come get him, or anytime, so there, even now, the age he is now, I will text her and say, hey, I'm coming to get my son. Is he doing anything? And she's like, no, he's not, you know, because, and he'll say, I will always love you. I'll always protect you. And I remember one day he said, when you get married, are you going to forget about me? And that broke my heart. When you have kids, are you going to forget about me? That broke my heart. And I remember telling him, you will always be my baby. Always, always, always. As long as you need me, I will always be right here. I know you have your mom and you have your dad, and I will always respect them. But if you ever need me, I will always be here for you. And he said, well, I'm always going to need you. And I was like, well, there might be one day where you don't. He's like, no, I will always need you. I said, okay, right? Because I know, we know life happens, and, we don't foresee the future. And so that is how Mama Shaun got started. And however many years later, Mama Shaun is still on the roll. The kids, have called me. I never started calling myself Mama Shaun. It just became a thing. And, the kids call me Mama Shaun. My staff will call me Mama or Mama Shaun. One of them, she's like, you're my work mom. I was like, okay. And so she'll say, Mama, blah, 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 and, and I just came back from Rhode Island, and Mama Shaun, made her debut, her down there, just, and simply put, right? It is simply this: holding a place for someone who needs a space, needs a hug, needs a moment to just breathe where there's no judgment, needs someone just to hug them and love them and say, you're doing great. I know it's really tricky and really hard right now, but guess what? You're doing amazing. You're doing great the way you are. Keep pushing, keep going, right? And there's so many podcasts out there that will encourage you and love you and all the things that you need. But this one stemmed from my baby. And I sent this to his mom, letting his mom know, what's going on. And I know a lot of people are excited. And this isn't to make myself known. This, again, Mama Shaun sprang out of nowhere. I didn't start off calling it, one of my babies did. And when I see him now, he'll say, "Well, Miss ReShaun." I was like, "Who? Miss who?" Mama Shaun, thank you. Because he's in school now. And so he's, used to the school district. So I got to remind him of what he did. I got to remind him. And so if he's listening, I sent this to his mom. If he's listening, I will always love you. You will always be my baby boy. And I remember the day when I was really, 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 really sad. And I remember you came and sat on my lap and you rubbed my arms and you rubbed my hand and you put your head on my shoulder. You were young enough, you were too young to even comprehend the pain that I was in. You were too young to even comprehend the hurt. But I will always remember the love. I will always remember how innocent it was. And that's one of the things that I love about children is they don't have to know the story, and they can never comprehend or understand the story. But someone that they gravitate to, that they feel safe with, they're going to feel something's wrong. They're going to feel that, oh, they need me, or oh, this is happening. They're going to feel those things. And he did, and he just sat, and his other friends eventually came over and they sat by me. One of them, she's in my life also. That's my princess. And they just came and just started touching my head and rubbing on me. And that's when you know you have a bond with kids. They feel you. They know when something's wrong. They know when you're hurt because of the love you have for them. And so I want him to know that I love you with all of my heart. You will always be my baby. You will always be my little boy. You will always be my son. And no matter where life takes me, no matter how many children I end up having, but you will always be my first. And I love you with all of my heart. So that is how Mama Shaun came to be. That is how Mama Shaun came to be. The sweet little boy that came my way. And from that point on, you know, I've stayed in their life. I've been a voice of reason, and I've been everything that they've needed me to be. And their mother has never has never made it look like, oh, you know, you're this and I'm that. And it was, hey, you're a part of the family. And so I appreciate you so, so much. So that is how Mama Shaun came to be. And I didn't want this just to be, a normal, an everyday podcast. I wanted this to be meaningful and special for those who need someone to hold space for them, right? As a teacher, I was in the classroom, as a director, I've been in the classroom and dealing with issues and dealing with concerns and dealing with life, but I still showed up for my kids. That day that those three kids came over, and now they're 8, but 7, 8, and 9, or 7, I think 7, 8, 9, somewhere around there, in school doing amazing things. They came over to me and they consoled me, and I didn't know what was going on. But I at the time was teaching them about how to be a good friend, right? How we show love and kindness to our friends. And so I was that teacher that came to work that day getting over a major heartbreak. I mean, heart was broken, shattered, everything, all the things. I was in a bad, bad, bad place, but I still showed up for my kids. I still showed up for my kids. And so I wanted this to be a space where women and men can rebuild after heartbreak, where you can rebuild after a loss, rebuild after, losing hope or losing faith in life, right? Because you still have a job, you still have work to do. As long as you're breathing, someone is needing you. As long as you're breathing, someone is watching you. I have found joy. I've built things, I've built systems, I've built programs, I've built so many things to help other people be the better you, better them. And you'll hear me say a lot, holding space, where people will call me and I'm just listening. I don't judge. I don't, have a heaven or hell to put anybody in. But sometimes we need to just listen. Just listen, right? You just need someone to listen. I've talked to parents that are in my program. I've talked to just people from all over. Why? Because I want them to know that this is somewhere, this is a heart, a mouth, a voice that you can trust to just vent to and not be used against you. So here I am, mic'd up and ready to go, right? So each episode, we might talk about healing through faith, leadership through play, vision casting, business strategies for coaches. We're going to have guests come on and give their stories and talk about their life and talk about what makes them strong, talk about the things that help them become who they are now, talk about the things that make them be amazing as a person. We're going to have insights into what's trending in early childhood right now. I have parents that are like, hey, do you do parent classes, or do you know anyone doing parenting classes? And we want to hold space for you. We want to give you that opportunity to get some advice and opinions on how to be an amazing parent, how to be what does that look like in 2025? How do I understand this child that I've raised, right? This child who is a little bit of me and a little bit of them, and they're causing havoc, or I don't know how they're thinking. I don't know what they're thinking. They're looking at me crying and I don't know what to do. This space is for you. And you might feel like a failure as a parent because you don't understand the way your child thinks. You might not understand the way your child moves and operates. This space is for you. You might feel guilty because you don't understand. This space is for you. So we're going to have some live coaching moments and maybe a little bit of Disney pixie dust too. But don't worry, early childhood with a childcare experience isn't going anywhere. Okay. That show will still serve as educators and we'll probably do a lot of crossovers. Um, and so we want to make sure that you guys are in good hands. And so we're just expanding the empire as we always do, right? So if this episode lit something for you, or this is something that you think you can tune into weekly, we do have shows already queued up for the week. Um, and if you want to be a guest on this show, we want to have you mic'd up with Mama Shaun at Yahoo. .com is where you can email me. It comes directly to me. There is no third party. So give us some space and time to email you back. But you can also give us a call or text us at 210-315-1206. We want to hear from you. We want to know what you want to talk about, right? This is just not my show. This is your show too, right? We're in this one big fishbowl of life trying to navigate and just keep spinning. Just keep spinning, right? We're spinning, we're swimming, we're doing all the things to just keep going. So I want you to follow this show, leave us a review, tell a friend, right? Tell a friend, not an enemy, even though they might need this too, because they're hurting too, right? And we want you to be a part of this community. So our Facebook page will be going live tomorrow. It's already live now, but I haven't invited anybody. But if you can find it, Mic'd Up with Mama Shaun, we do have a Facebook page. We do have a TikTok account as well. Mic'd Up with Mama Shaun is on TikTok. And so we're just getting started. We're just getting started. So join us. Join us. We're going to be on all the major platforms as soon as this one goes live. Join us. We want to hear from you. We want to be a part of your community. We want to hold space for you. We want to be that anything that you need. Hey, and I'm going to get it wrong, right? I'm going to get it wrong. But guess what? That's where we all learn. That's where we all grow. So follow us, like us, all the things, because this season we're not playing small. We're leading with our heart from the classroom to the mic. You have been listening to Mic'd Up with Mama Shaun. Until next time, I love you, and we'll see you soon.